Capricorns, Healing Grasshopper here to do your first reading for 2026, January 2026. Monthly reading. I've been away for a while. There were no December readings because I had some things that I had to take care of. So I took a few weeks off, but I'm back. You will have monthly, of course, here we are, uh, weeklies and bonuses for January. Um, and very soon there will be um, a yearly I'm stimulated to do. It really seems like this is going to be a pivotal year. I can feel it. This past year was very much like preparation for something coming. This year feels like it's going to be the actual incoming. Page of Wands. This is get to work card. Um, this feels very exuberant. This doesn't feel like "Ooh, time to make the donuts" type feeling, which Page of Wands sometimes can feel that way depending on what other cards it shows up with. But but no, for the most part, Page of Wands and what I'm feeling right now is like excitement, like what am I gonna create for myself um for this month. But specifically though, for your career, I'm feeling a lot of um like feeling reinvigorated where you felt before like, oh ho hum, especially for those of you who are looking for jobs. You're feeling that, you know, burnt out feeling like, when am I ever going to find this job already? This is like either you got offered a job and you're like looking forward to starting the job, or um, there's a bunch of new opportunities that you know raises your hopes up again, where that was kind of you're kind of losing hope before. Ace of Swords, we'll see if that's reversed in a moment. So Ace of Swords is actually, let's see now, not reversed. So here you have a receiving of opportunity, but here you have an incoming of downloads from spirit. This is inspiration right here that feeds this, fiery excitement you have. And I really feel like you guys are going to be surprised, like, wow, I haven't felt this in a while. Something that Capricorn really needs. Judgment. This is a call from spirit to something new, to a new life, um, a change in paradigm. Something that feels totally new that makes you feel reborn. Like one is supposed to feel in the new year, right? But we don't always feel like this in the new year, right? We know we're supposed to feel like this, but this is going to be a time that you actually will be feeling like this. It's like the air is a little bit fresher and the world looks a little bit newer around you. Um, the lovers. I'm happy to see this. The lovers is about your relationships and your perception of your relationships and the direction that you choose to take with your relationships. Um, and I want to say that these are referring to mostly new relationships. If this is about um, rekindling old relationships or like zhuzhing up of existing relationships, it's very few and far between. This is mostly new relationships. Um, for those of you who are rekindling relationships, for those of you who know me well and have been following this channel for a while, you know that I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Um, I would proceed with caution. So I don't want you walking away from this video like I gave you the blessing to go hook up with an ex or that kind of thing, because that is not the case. I almost never suggest that. But of course, you're going to use your own judgment. You know your own situation. And for the most part, Capricorns have really went through a lot of karmic situations where our intuition has really, our judgment has really been, um, has benefited by what we've went through, right? We have learned a whole lot of things and learned how not to ignore red flags, um, learned how to spot the red flags, that kind of thing. You understand what I'm saying? So I am going to trust your judgment, Capricorn, in looking back at an old relationship. I'm saying in a roundabout way. Um, just use caution. But for the rest of us, onward and upward. Um, and I have a feeling this is going to come up in the yearly reading, um, which I'm going to start very, very soon. Um, we'll see. Because I knew this was going to come, this subject was going to come up sooner or later with relationships, because we have been focusing a whole lot on everything but relationships for the past few years with Capricorn. You know, in Capricorn, we have not been focusing on relationships. Every now and then, we've been forced to address, crumbling relationships and discard them. But for the most part, we were focused on rebuilding, improving our lives and our careers and our financial situations and our quality of life. Um, but this really makes me feel like relationships are going to, we're going to need to address relationships. Um, yeah, it's just a feeling that I have. It has not come up for you for a while, but we'll see. The Fool. The Fool in the middle of your reading is all about you looking to the future fearlessly and hopefully courageously. You know, the stinking thinking is really being shed here, which I'm pleased with because Capricorn, is this ours too? Capricorn, we've been having trouble getting on board with the positive thinking because Saturn has really been kicking our butts lately. Um, Not reverse, but this is our right here, right? Is this ours too? Yes. What did I say about Saturn kicking our butts lately? Um, this is us feeling overwhelmed with life. This is very typical. Um, if you had to pull out a card for Capricorn, like, what's Capricorn doing now? This is the card. Like Capricorn has always got 50,000 things going on. We're tired. We ain't got time for anybody's bullshit. We're just pushing through and trying to create things. But even though a lot of us feel like we're spinning our wheels, you are getting somewhere, Capricorn. I promise. You know, you feel like you're going up a down escalator, but you're getting there. Yeah. Four of Cups. This is the way we have been feeling for the past few years, and you know, um, continue to feel at to some degree, although we're starting to shed that. This is under the Lovers, though, which is it's like whether you know it or not, Capricorn, you have a lot of people watching you all the time, and you don't notice it because this is you here. But there are plenty of people who are like, wow, look at Capricorn go, or Capricorn has got it together, you know. Capricorn is so, you know, successful, so this, so that. You have all this admiration. You have no idea it's there, most of you. You might catch a glimpse of it every now and then but for the most part, you have no idea, right? And you have more admirers than you think. So there are going to be situations this month where there are going to be people trying to get your attention. You're going to get some invitations, dinner invitations, dates, that kind of thing. But the kind of invitations where you don't even, you're like, wait, did they just ask me on a date? That kind of thing. But you're going to be like, no, thanks. I don't have time for that. You know, Capricorn, you need to kind of stop and smell the roses. You can't be in turbocharge mode all the time. And that's not what life's about. Your spiritual growth isn't going to come from grabbing every brass ring that you can, in life. That's not what life is about. Reversed. Fantastic. Look at this. You've got Knight of Cups. You've got someone here who is really has feelings for you, Capricorn. I don't think you have any idea. And this person is afraid to really show it to you because whether you want to admit it or not, Capricorn, you are very, very hard to approach, especially with a cup. You know, Capricorn's like, trying to receive a cup from anyone. You know, if you don't have a pentacle in your hands, we're not interested. And you know what? By the way, for those of you who are watching for the first time, I'm also laughing at myself because I am a Capricorn sun. So I know what this is about, you know. And that's not to say that Capricorns are frigid or, we're no fun or that kind of thing. It's because people have brought us so much bullshit in our lives that we're like, you know, don't bring me any more of that. I don't really care for that. I'm over here trying to get my coin, right? Or whatever it is. Trying to enhance my life in every way. But this. Um but Capricorn, this can be nice if it's the right person. And they can certainly make this feel a whole less a whole lot less burdensome, right? When you've got someone on your team, there's nothing better than that, Capricorn. Admit it. But it's like I said, it's got to be the right person. It's got to be that person that really has your back, that really has your best interests at heart. And I think this person might be coming along this month. Just pay attention. But that's not to say that in this month, you're going to have a new boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, that kind of thing. This is the early stages of getting to know someone and actually, noticing someone, a blip on your radar, let's say, right? That you haven't noticed before. Um, and there might be a moment this month where you're like, you know what? I kind of like this person. They're kind of cool. I think they kind of like me too. So, but don't shut it down. Don't talk yourself out of it. Let yourself enjoy it. You're perfectly capable of looking out for red flags. You'll be okay. Just enjoy yourself. Wheel of Fortune. You have things moving in your favor here. And if we look at this diagonal here, you've got the Page of Wands, um, which is all about your approach to your present situation and your near future with enthusiasm, right? These two are talking about. And here you have the fuel behind it, which is the universe blessing you. And that's a great feeling to feel, a shower of blessings. I don't know how often you guys play the lottery, but I just had Powerball in mind. Powerball has been really up there these days. Um, don't forget to pick up your lottery tickets because there's a there's like an exciting feeling that I have here, but it's like sudden excitement. Um, and that can be something like the lottery. So go play the lottery, guys. Wow. Go play the lottery. Wow. Wow. Listen, I have been reading tarot since I was a kid, and it never gets old when, these little synchronicities happen. Knight of Pentacles is um moving towards your fortune, moving towards material abundance. But this is all about um the actual effort of getting it. The page over here is your perception. Um, but here is the actual uh, action of it that came out just when I said play the lottery. Play the lottery. It came out right after Wheel of Fortune. Well, okay. So we've got the Five of Wands, which is all about it, it can be, well, first of all, this is the conflict card, right? It usually talks about fighting, but I don't feel that's what this is here. I don't feel a fight, even though it is connected to the lovers here. Let's see what our next card is. Yeah, I don't get any sharp feelings, but I'm not quite sure what Spirit's trying to tell me yet. Let's see what our next card is. Ace of Cups. Reversed? It is reversed. Okay. All right. So this does look like there's a fight here, but maybe I didn't feel the sharp feeling because this is an old problem. It's like it's not new, so there's not that heart racing feeling that I sometimes get for the Five of Wands. Okay. So some of you, not all of you, but there's a number of you who are closing out a relationship, but you don't feel bad about it. This is not, you know, this relationship has brought you a lot of grief and frustration and all that business, but this month this is going to be like relief, like thank God I've rid myself of this problem type thing. And this is more of a celebratory feeling than frustration or grief. But that's not the only reason why the lovers is here, huh? Let's be clear. It's connected here because Spirit is making a reference to your general um, friendship pool, but this is only part of it, obviously. The lovers here next to the fool is really about your outlook towards your relationships in general and what you know you want out of your relationships. You know, you are very, very clear on what you don't want. That's for sure. The Empress. Wow. Because you know who you are. And that's not true for everyone out there. There are plenty of people out there who have no idea who they are. They're walking around lost. That is not you, Capricorn. You are in no way lost. You can have plenty of dissatisfaction in your life and that kind of thing, but lost is not you. You know who you are, you know what you're worth, and you will take no less. And that's what this up here is about too. This is like, this is not working for me. I have nothing left to give in this relationship. I'm done. The star, right? So great. So great. This diagonal is just, I love it. The Five of Wands is well, I was going to say the only negative card. That's not true. But although the Five of Wands can be negative, it's really not negative for you. This is like you were in a karmic situation that you've learned plenty from. You're taking plenty away from this relationship and you are closing it out. You're done. And there's like cause for celebration here because of it. The star is talking about the potential in your life for your wishes to be delivered to you. And you know that, and you're not letting this let you down because that has been a problem for Capricorn for a while where we come across difficulty and we feel like alfalfa. um I'm pretty sure it was you guys that I talked about the new Little Rascals movie or the newer Little Rascals movie. um there was a remake in the 90s that I love. um I'm pretty sure I have a short about it, and it was in one of your readings, but you know, um, Alfalfa's having a pretty bad time, and he's running away from his bullies, and you know, his clothing gets. He's running through the neighborhood in his underwear, being chased by his um, bullies, by Butch and Butch's friend. I always forget his name, but um, and so like thing after thing happens, and he like bumps into Butch while he's trying to get away from him, and he looks up at the sky and he says, and the skies opened up and God said, I hate you, Alfalfa. Very funny. I'm not telling it well, but really, really funny movie. Go see it. It'll make your day, I promise. Um, but I use that reference for Capricorn a lot because that's the way we tend to feel, where Saturn is constantly, you know, throwing excrement at us. And we're like, really? Like, can I catch a break? Right? So, but that doesn't that doesn't get us down to the point where we're incapacitated. We keep moving. right? But we feel like our heart is, is with every step we take with these wands, it's like our hearts are emptier and emptier, right? But I'm here to tell you guys that your heart is going to start to be filled. I need two more spirit, please. Two of Wands. Yeah, see? I think that's reversed in a Ace of Pentacles. You damn Skippy. Okay. Not reversed. See, this depicts the enthusiasm that I was talking about here when we started the reading. Two of Wands is you making a choice and being confident and excited about your choice. This is about making the right choice. And Three of Wands is talking about the same, but close to the same. But this is like making the right choice for yourself. So this can be anything from making the right career choice, making the right choice in your relationships, in releasing of relationships, or of gaining new ones. This can be just plain opportunities. This can be finding the right apartments, right? Or the right house, right property. You've been looking for a while, you haven't found anything that you like in your price range, but something finally comes along, right? Here is spirit alerting you to a new situation. This is you working hard, and these are the blessings. Ace of Pentacles, you have a new source of abundance coming in. What did I say about playing the lottery? Now, guys, play responsibly too. All you need is $1 and a dream, like they used to say. It's more than $1 now, but you know, just buy the one Powerball ticket, the one Mega Million ticket, the one Lotto ticket. You don't need to do $10 on Powerball, $20, $100. Don't do that. And you know what? I'm talking to Capricorns. That's something that I have to say to, like, I don't know, Sagittarius or Aries. Um, you guys know better than to do that, you know. But I'm just reminding you that, what's meant for you it will come to you. You don't have to put yourself out to get there. Okay, guys? Beautiful reading. Um, January is going to be a refreshing month for you. I don't see much problems other than this that we talked about here, but I wouldn't call that a problem again. This is more of a releasing and a feeling free, right? So overall, a pretty good month. So I will speak to you guys soon. Happy New Year. Love, light, and many blessings.